And we're pleased to be joined now by Zach Johnson. And Zach, there's been a recent push on the PGA Tour for the biggest markets and the toughest golf courses. Why do you think there's still room on the PGA Tour schedule for the John Deere Classics of the world?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it starts with you know, the title sponsor, why we're here. I mean, you have the headquarters, which I was at last night, one John Deere Way. I mean, it couldn't be more than about 6-7 minutes as the crow flies. It's even shorter. So you've got a massive presence and a really great community here, and you know, I mean, it's a pretty decent sized area as far as population in the Midwest. But you've got a great company that has their footprint here, and then you have a golf course that couples that. That's spectacular. So, you know, I think there's room for both. If I'm going to be transparent, but I think, you know, there's a reason why John Deere keeps renewing, keeps wanting to be a part of our product, and keeps wanting to showcase their green and yellow, and obviously help this community in so many different ways.
Zach, you know you've been around for a long time when you start to compete against the kids of your peers. And Tim Herron's son, Carson, he won a Monday qualifier playoff to get in this week. You've got kids like Michael Lasasso, the NCAA champion, Jackson Coyven. They're all in the field this week. Does that make you feel old, or do you still think you've got something to show these kids?
It's yes, both. I don't know if I need to show them anything, but I still think I can compete with them. I think I've, for the most part, kind of proven that. I mean, you know, for me, it comes down to being physically able to do it. I mean, my body is the vehicle now that needs to be tuned up as best as possible, and I've got a good team to do that. But yeah, it's kind of daunting at the same time. I mean, knowing that I'm competing against kids that are my son's age, that is just bizarre, but it's also awesome. I mean, I don't know if it's inspiring, but it certainly is motivational to some degree. I mean, the youth of the game are obviously, you know, the individuals that are going to take this game to new heights as time goes forward. So we have to embrace that and relish that. And you know, for the most part, I've got to meet some of the kids. I don't know them all personally all that well, but great guys, great kids that, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, are really good at this game.
Zach, to keep this theme going, you actually become Champions Tour eligible next spring. Have you begun to sort of envision what the next couple years of your competitive career could look like?
You know, I get the question all too frequent now. I really haven't. And I mean, I have, you know, just because of the obvious facts that I'm getting ready to turn to that age. But, you know, I've thought about it. I mean, shoot, some of my best friends are out there. You know, I mean, the thought of traveling with my wife again out there sounds pretty awesome. And that'd be a lot of fun. And I know a lot of the venues because some of them used to be, you know, on tour when I was playing a long time ago. And so that part's exciting. I say all that, but, you know, I still kind of operate right where my feet are, if I'm going to get cliche. I love still being on the PGA Tour. I love trying to play against the best in the world. I mean, that as a competitor first, that's what you want. But I also know that Mother Time, is that even a saying, is up against me. I get it. I feel it every morning when I get up. But I love the work. I love to, you know, put the work in the dirt, as they say, and get after it. So, you know, a lot will be determined, honestly, in the next 2 months as to what's going to transpire next year for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with whatever comes my way, but I can tell you I'm going to give it everything I have to go out and compete and essentially try to win golf tournaments.
Speaking of which, you're 103rd in this year's FedExCup standings. How are you and your peers sort of viewing this shift that has happened on the PGA Tour, the top 125 eligibility and keeping your cards to now 100, and you finding yourself right on the bubble?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought, nor have I had many discussions with it. I mean, it's the evolution of our sports, the evolution of the tour. You know, we had a nice meeting last week with tour representatives, current and future, and I get it. I mean, you know, I don't need to know all the nuance of it. I don't need to know all the specifics. I've been on those boards and those committees, and I trust the powers that be are doing the right thing as far as, like I said, the process and the evolution of our sport and our product. You know, and I'm fully embraced it. So, it is what it is. We know what the numbers are, and you know, that's motivational. If anything, that's what's keeping me going, to see if I can, you know, garner a spot next year and have options. That would be an amazing opportunity. So it's not going to be easy, and I'm okay with that. I actually had 7 weeks off up until last week. I haven't done that in a long time. Much of that was forced because I wasn't in the U.S. Open and wasn't in some of the signature events, obviously. So, but now I'm ready to go. I played last week in Detroit, and so I'm playing the next 4 out of 5 from here on out. So that'll be 5 out of 6. And what that is opportunity. I love going back to that word. I love what it means, and you know, just get after it and compete hard. That's what this game's all about.
Zach, your successor as Ryder Cup captain, Keegan Bradley, announced his 5th vice captain this morning. Gary Woodland, obviously a very popular guy on tour, and he joins Jim Furyk, Webb Simpson, Brandt Snedeker, Kevin Kisner. 2 of those guys have not actually played Ryder Cups, but are among the more popular guys in the locker room. Are you surprised in any way in terms of the backroom team that Keegan is putting together?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, technically, I'm still on a Ryder Cup committee with the PGA of America, which I certainly love. And we obviously, as Team USA and as a peer of these gentlemen, we trust what Keegan and that group wants to do. I mean, he's putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, and still playing well, which is amazing. And so, you know, I think he's got things in place that he feels will be great for success in New York, and that's all you can do. And it's hard. I've been in that position, but I really appreciate and certainly support any and all decisions that Keegan and his team has made, because I know he's doing it for the betterment of the team and not himself. It's a role that he is taken very, you know, very much highly, and will do a great job. He already has. So, shoot, he might play. Who knows? I don't know what the discussions are like there, but that's a man that could play too. So, but those gentlemen that he has, that are confidants of his now, and they'll do a great job. The guys want to be around them. Number one, number two, you're talking about quality character, high integrity individuals that will put the team first.
Just this idea of Keegan being a playing captain, there's no one better positioned to actually talk about this, because you've just vacated that job that Keegan now has. Had you been playing at that level back when you were the captain, could you have imagined dividing your time between being inside the ropes and outside the ropes in both of those roles that week in Rome?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a massive hypothetical. I could not personally, but I wasn't playing at near the level that Keegan was playing then or now. So, and no one's surprised by that level. I mean, we're talking about a stalwart in our game. No, I cannot. But I say that, you know, it's hypothetical. I don't know what would have transpired if that was the case. You know, this year, you know, they're going to have difficult choices regardless if he's playing or not. But ultimately, I firmly trust any and all decisions that they'll be making.
Zach, though you were part of Tiger Woods' backroom staff in 2019 at the President's Cup, and I know it's a little bit different format. It's 4 days instead of 3. What do you remember about that week, though? Tiger's sort of dual responsibilities and anything additional that may have been on your plate?
Yeah, well, yeah, a phenomenal week down in Australia. A trying week, you know, when you compound time change and acclimation and all that, which is obvious. We knew that. One thing that I mean, the main thing that I remember there, and I knew it beforehand, but it was really brought to light that week, is really how efficient, how effective Tiger is with compartmentalizing. The man is able to essentially was able to wear 2 different hats at any beck and call. And now when it was time to be a captain and be a leader, which he did phenomenally, he wore that hat and he did it great. Oftentimes just by example, oftentimes verbally and around the team. But when it was time to go out and compete, he shifted over and it was like a switch went on, right? I mean, it was like, I mean, we've all seen it. And that's what I remember, and that's what was the most impressive thing about it. And I think he led by example with both hats, as a leader and as a competitor. That trickled down to the whole team, and obviously we had success there in the end. Trying week, hard week, but man, what a great week! And having Tiger lead those players was inspirational.
Well, you're also a guy who knows something about going from being a captain to being a player, which you are this week. We always appreciate the time, Zach. We look forward to seeing you teach those kids a few things out there this week.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be teaching them, but I'll be hitting first in the fairway a lot. But I'm excited for the week. I love it. It's like a home. It's another home for me, being an ambassador of this great company and this tournament. So I love it. I appreciate you, gentlemen.